6 brutal clues you were the one the narcissist can't get over, even if they swear they did. Look, some people walk into a narcissist's life like extras in a movie. Flash in, flash out, names forgotten, memories blurred. But you? Oh, you were a damn earthquake. You didn't just shake things up. You rattled the entire foundation. You were the glitch in their matrix, the one thing they couldn't control, couldn't predict, and sure as hell couldn't replace. You didn't play the game, didn't drool over their cheap charm or nod like a puppet while they spun their make-believe sob stories. You asked questions, you spotted the lies, and when things started to smell rotten, you said it out loud, boldly. You didn't stick around because you were weak. You stayed because you gave a damn. You loved, not to earn points, not to fix the narcissist, but because that's just who you are. Real, deep, fierce, the kind of soul that doesn't clock out when things get messy. And that scared the hell out of them. You were a mirror, not the kind they hang on the wall to admire their reflection, but the one that shows the truth, the cracks, the wounds, the empty, hollow echo they tried to cover with noise, praise, and pretty pictures. They couldn't twist you, couldn't box you up like they did with the others, because at some point you snapped out of it. You stopped explaining yourself, stopped justifying every reaction, and the moment you stopped giving, boom. That silence, that space, that hit harder than any screaming match ever could. You stopped feeding the beast, and suddenly they had to sit with their own emptiness, alone. They'll never admit it. They'll replace you on the outside, quickly, sloppily, desperately. But deep down, every new face is a cruel reminder. They already had the real thing, and lost it. They miss what they couldn't fake. Because what you brought to the table wasn't some Instagram filter version of love. It was rich, raw, soul-level stuff. And once they got a taste of that, every cheap substitute just reminded them they were starving. You didn't just pass through, you left a mark. You became the blueprint, the ghost, the damn gold standard they can't stop comparing others to. Not because you begged to stay, but because you're unforgettable. Now, I'm a narcissistic abuse recovery professional, and in today's video, we're diving into the 6 unmistakable signs you were the one the narcissist never got over. Let's get into it. Number 1. You made M feel safe. Then you took that safety back. Now here's the gut punch of it all. And yeah, this one stings the narcissist in ways they'll never admit, even to themselves. You were the only place that ever felt like home. Not the house, not the job, not the fake smiles or their flavor of the month supply. You. Not because they poured their heart out to you. They don't do that. Hell no. Vulnerability's not in their playbook. But your presence, it changed something inside them. Like tossing a warm blanket over a freezing soul. You didn't push, didn't pry. You weren't in it to win. You just showed up, solid, grounded, real. Especially when their world was falling to pieces behind that perfect little mask. You were the calm in their chaos. And they leaned into it, quietly, sneakily. They came to you when the lies started choking them. When the image they built was cracking at the edges. When they couldn't keep up with the charade anymore. You were the soft landing, the breath in the storm. But they never said thank you. Of course not. Because gratitude isn't in their vocabulary. But they felt it. Oh, they felt it in their bones. When everything around them felt staged and scripted, you were the only damn thing that was real. You didn't try to change them. You didn't demand a show. You just made them feel, maybe for the first time ever, like they didn't have to fake it. And that scared the hell out of them. Because to someone who's built their life on illusion, real feels dangerous. Real feels like a threat. But here's where the script flipped. They pushed one too many times, crossed lines like it was a game, took your softness for weakness, and while they thought you'd stay forever, because, well, everyone else did, you didn't. You withdrew. Not with screaming, not with fireworks, just a quiet, soul-deep pullback. You stopped offering your peace, stopped being their lifeline, stopped showing up for someone who'd already cashed in too many chances. And that silence was the loudest thing they've ever heard. It's still echoing, in the quiet of a new relationship that feels more like a performance than a connection. In moments when they feel misunderstood, unseen, unmatched. Because nobody else gets them the way you did. Here's the hard truth they try to bury. They weren't addicted to your attention. They were addicted to your presence. That feeling of finally being safe. Not because they earned it, but because you gave it, freely, unconditionally. And now that it's gone, they can't buy it, can't fake it, can't replace it. They are starving for what they lost. Number 2, they can't recreate the way you made them feel. See, the narcissist thought you were replaceable. Cute mistake. They'd ran out and grabbed the next shiny toy, someone easier to manage, someone who claps on cue, smiles on schedule, and never asks inconvenient little questions like, is that really true? And sure, on paper, the new supply might be quieter, prettier, more compliant. But here's what they can't replicate: how you made them feel. You didn't just give attention, you gave presence, real presence. The kind that doesn't flinch when the masks fall off. You saw them, not because they earned it, but because your soul has this rare, wild gift. It reaches straight past the performance and into the person underneath. The part they hide from the world. Hell, the part they hide from themselves. You listened between the words. You picked up on silence like it was a language. You didn't demand. You didn't rush. You didn't play pretend. You simply felt, and they felt seen. For the first time in God knows how long, they weren't performing. They were just there, real, human. And it scared them half to death. Because here's the thing, they didn't just like the way you made them feel, they needed it. But then they broke it. And now they chase that high. They scroll through your memories. They watch your life from the sidelines, haunted by the ghost of your presence, trying to bottle a lightning strike they shattered with their own damned hands. They're still looking for you in everyone else. But people like you don't happen twice. Number 3, they mocked your sensitivity, but quietly needed it. Here's the part they'll twist your guts if you've ever been called too much. They made fun of it, right? Your sensitivity. Like it was some kind of embarrassing quirk, like loving deeply, feeling things others miss, was something broken. They rolled their eyes, called you dramatic, overly emotional, said you think too much, care too much, feel too much. But secretly, they were soaking in it. Because your sensitivity wasn't a flaw. It was the superpower that kept their chaos from eating them alive. You picked up on every shift in their mood, every twitch in their tone. You asked if they were okay before they even knew something was wrong. You adjusted your words, your body, your energy, just to keep things soft when their world felt sharp. And they needed that. You sat with their silence, held space for their shame, made room for emotions they never dared name. You weren't reacting, you were responding, from love, from empathy, from a depth they've never known and will never find again. But because they couldn't control it, they had to shame it. They mocked the very thing that kept them grounded. They latched onto your nervous system like it was their life raft. And now that you're gone, the world feels flat. The new people in their life can't read the room, can't feel the undertones, can't give what you gave without even trying. They laugh, but it's hollow. They talk, but nobody listens past the words. You were too much? No. You were everything. Number 4, your depth made their games look pathetic. Let's get real blunt here. The narcissist survives on surface-level crap. They thrive in shallows. Compliments without substance, conversations without meaning, games, masks, smoke, mirrors. Because depth? That's dangerous. Depth demands accountability, vulnerability, truth. And that's exactly what you brought to the table. You showed up with soul, with thoughts that carried weight, with an inner world so rich and alive, it made their shallow tactics look like a toddler's card trick. With you, their usual games didn't land. Their manipulation looked silly. Their lies fell apart before they even left their mouth. They hated that. Because you couldn't be fooled. You weren't impressed by the show. You saw the strings, spotted the cracks, and chose truth anyway. You were real in a world that runs on fake, and that made you threatening. They tried to match you, but they couldn't even reach you. You weren't just deep, you were oceanic, intense, intuitive, unforgettable. Now, they're out there trying to replicate that feeling with people who can't even tread water. And no matter how many times they try to dive back into shallow, empty waters, they know damn well they'll never find another you. Number 5, your resilience shattered their illusion of control. Here's what they never saw coming. Most people fold under narcissistic pressure. That constant drip of gaslighting, guilt-tripping, and twisted games wears them down until there's barely anything left but compliance. But not you. You didn't scream. You didn't storm off. You didn't play the revenge card. No, your strength. It was silent, solid, unshakable. Every attempt to chip away at you only carved out more clarity. Every time they thought they broke you, you came back, not bitter, but wiser. More grounded, more damn powerful than before. And that scared the hell out of them. Because what do narcissists fear more than anything? Someone they can't control. You became a quiet rebellion in their carefully curated world. They couldn't predict you, couldn't wear you down. You kept rising, not in rage, but in calm, commanding strength. That kind of resilience, it isn't just rare, it's unforgettable. You became their white whale, the one who wouldn't fold, the one they couldn't crack. And that makes you a legend in their story, whether they'll admit it or not. Number 6, your empathy was the one thing they couldn't weaponize. This one cuts deep. They thought they could use your empathy against you. That's the usual play: pull the heartstrings, push the guilt button, watch you dance. But your empathy? That was a whole different beast. It wasn't blind. It wasn't naive. It was sharp, intuitive. You saw through the act and into the soul. You didn't just feel for them. You understood them, on a level they've never let anyone else near. And that made you dangerous. Because you became a walking mirror, a reflection of their lies, their insecurities, their games. You decoded their silence. You read the subtext in their compliments. You could predict their next move before they even made it. They couldn't use your empathy because it didn't make you weak, it made you untouchable. They tried to dim your light because it outshined their illusion. They felt small next to your depth, jealous of your clarity, and terrified that you might actually be everything they pretend to be. So they did what narcissists always do when they fear someone's power: they tried to shrink you. But here's the irony: in trying to destroy you, they only revealed just how much they needed you. You weren't just some support system. You were the torchbearer in their darkness. And now that light is gone, they're fumbling in the dark, grasping for scraps of connection, haunted by the memory of the one soul they couldn't replace. That's it for today's episode. If this hit deep, let me know in the comments. What part of this resonated most with you? What truth did you feel in your gut? If you're on your healing journey or just waking up from the chaos, don't do it alone. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. You've already survived the storm. Now it's time to heal like hell. Until next time, let the healing begin.